Hey, I want to tell you about Ed and Joe. Ed and Joe were close friends and they did everything together. And one day they decided they'd go to the circus. So they went together to the circus and they were walking through all the attractions. They came to this large cage. Inside the cage was a tiger. They looked at that tiger and Ed and Joe looked at each other and said, man, there's no way I'd ever go inside there. We wouldn't last 10 seconds with that tiger. Suddenly from behind them, a young girl walked past them toward the cage. She had on a sequined outfit and had a long purple cape. She walked to the door of the cage, opened the door, and as she opened the door, she unbuttoned the cape and let it drop, and she walked inside the cage with the tiger. They were horrified. They couldn't believe she was doing this. They watched the tiger kind of roar and bar its teeth, and they thought, this tiger's getting ready to pounce. Suddenly, this woman extended her hand and pointed right in the nose of that tiger. And she said, very strong, sit. And that tiger very meekly just sat down. She looked at the tiger again and said, crawl. And that tiger immediately began to crawl toward her. They were stunned. Then, in their amazement, she pushed her hand or took her hand and put it toward the tiger. And the tiger, like a little kitten, licked her hand. Then she leaned into the face of the tiger, and the tiger licked her gently on the cheek. They were like, wow, that is just crazy. Well, Ed looked at Joe and said, there is no way you'd ever get me to do that. Joe said, well, I'd do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat. Ed said, no, there's no way you'd ever do that. He said, sure there is. Get that tiger out of there and I'll show you. Well, I tell you, it's funny how these two guys had different perspectives. Ed just saw it one way. Joe saw it a completely different way. You know, the death to any organization is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. It's called insanity. And there's so many organizations, so many churches that live with insanity. They just keep doing the same thing, thinking they're going to get some different result, and they don't. Not until someone teaches them a different way, or until leadership changes and people are willing to follow in a different way, or until they're absolutely forced to follow a different way. Well, maybe it's time to make a change. Maybe it's time to do something different. I'd encourage you, don't live the insane life. Do something different and see what happens. It's just a thought. Thanks for joining me today. You're looking for a great church, we'd love to have you come down to Meadowbrook. We'll take great care of you. I think you'd enjoy it. We meet at 9:45 and 11, and we would love to see you. Man, God bless you.